Beginner's Guide to Manual QA Testing, Unveiling the Basics. In the ever-evolving landscape of software development, the assurance of product quality is non-negotiable. Quality assurance, QA testing with manual testing at its core, is an indispensable component of this process. If you're a newcomer to the realm of software testing, this comprehensive guide will walk you through the fundamental aspects of manual QA testing, providing you with a robust foundation to kickstart your journey. Understanding manual QA testing. 1. What is manual QA testing? Manual QA testing involves human testers executing test cases without the assistance of automation tools. It's a hands-on approach where testers act as end users, interacting with the software to identify bugs, ensure functionality, and validate that the application meets specified requirements. Example: in an e-commerce application, a manual tester might simulate the process of adding items to a shopping cart, proceeding to checkout, and ensuring that the payment gateway functions as expected. 2. Importance of manual testing. The number one importance of manual testing is early bug detection. Manual testing allows for the early identification of bugs that might be overlooked by automated testing, especially those related to usability and user experience. The second most importance of manual testing is usability testing. Human testers can thoroughly evaluate the user interface, ensuring it is intuitive and user-friendly. The third most importance of manual testing is exploratory testing. Testers can explore the application dynamically, simulating various user scenarios to uncover unforeseen issues. Example: imagine a banking application where a manual tester, in an exploratory testing session, tries unconventional scenarios like entering negative values or skipping mandatory fields to ensure the application responds appropriately. Now let's take a look at the manual testing steps. 1. Test planning 2. Test case design 3. Test execution 4. Defect reporting 5. Regression testing 6. Test closure. Step 1. Test planning under test planning. There are two things we need to consider, and those things are understanding requirements and developing a test strategy. Let's look at them one by one. Understanding requirements. Thoroughly understanding project requirements is crucial for creating comprehensive test cases that cover all functionalities. Test strategy. Develop a test strategy that outlines the testing approach, scope, resources, and schedule. Example: in a healthcare software project, test planning involves understanding how the system should handle patient data, user permissions, and security protocols. Step 2. Test case design under test case design. There are two things we need to consider, and those things are test case creation and test data preparation. Let's look at them one by one. Test case creation. Develop detailed test cases that cover all functionalities of the application, including positive and negative scenarios. Test data. Preparation. Prepare the necessary test data to execute the test cases. Example: for a social media platform, a test case might involve posting content, checking for visibility based on privacy settings, and ensuring proper notification triggers. Step 3. Test execution under test execution. There are two things we need to consider, and those things are test environment setup and executing test cases. Let's look at them one by one. Environment setup. Configure the testing environment to mirror the production environment, ensuring accurate test results. Executing test cases. Manually execute test cases, documenting the results and any discovered defects. Example: in an e-learning application, executing test cases might involve enrolling in a course, completing assignments, and verifying that progress is accurately reflected. Step 4. Defect reporting under defect reporting. There are two things we need to consider, and those things are defect logging and collaboration. Let's look at them one by one. Defect logging. Report issues or defects identified during testing with detailed information for developers to understand and fix. Collaboration. Work closely with developers to ensure a clear understanding of reported issues. Example: If a gaming application crashes when a specific level is reached, the defect report should include steps to reproduce the issue, screenshots, and any error messages. Step 5. Regression testing under. Regression testing there. One important thing that we need to consider, and that is ensuring stability. Let's look, what does ensuring stability mean? Ensuring stability. After fixing defects, perform regression testing to ensure that new changes haven't introduced new issues. Example: in a software update for a banking application, regression testing involves validating existing functionalities like fund transfers and account balance inquiries to ensure they still work as expected. Step 6. Test closure under. Test closure. There are two things we need to consider, and those things are evaluation and documentation. Let's look at them one by one. Evaluation. Evaluate the testing process to identify areas for improvement. Documentation. Document test results, lessons learned, and any additional recommendations. Example: after completing testing for a project management tool, the evaluation might involve assessing whether the software aligns with project timelines, collaboration needs, and reporting requirements. Here's the quick recap of the manual testing steps we went through. Please feel free to pause the video and take a quick look at the steps listed below. 1. Test planning do. Test case designed. Test execution count. Defect reporting sync. Regression testing 6. Test closure. As we are taking an overview of the manual testing, it will also be good to briefly go through the key manual testing techniques. As part of this video, we will only take the small overview of each of these techniques. In case you are interested in more detailed video on these techniques, then please comment down below. On. Black box testing do. White box testing 3. Smoke testing. Exploratory testing. Method 1. Black box testing. In the black box testing, testers focus on validating the application's functionality without having access to its internal code. Example: testing a search engine without knowledge of its underlying algorithms, focusing solely on the input and output. Method 2. White box testing. In the white box testing, testers have access to the internal code, allowing them to test the application's internal structures, algorithms, and logic. Example: verifying the logic of a sorting algorithm in a data analysis application. Method 3. Smoke testing. The smoke testing is a preliminary test to check if the critical functionalities of the application work without major issues. Example: verifying that a login system works before conducting more in-depth testing on a web application. Method 4. Exploratory testing. In the exploratory testing, testers explore the application to identify defects using their creativity and intuition. Example: exploring a mobile application by interacting with various features in an unplanned manner to uncover unexpected bugs. Embarking on a journey into manual QA testing is both exciting and challenging. Armed with an understanding of the basics, techniques, and significance of manual testing in software development, you are well equipped to contribute to the delivery of high-quality software products. As you gain experience, you'll discover the intricate details of different testing methodologies and tools, paving the way for a rewarding career in QA testing. As a bonus, at the end of this video, we are keeping the brief summary of the overview we had about manual quality assurance testing. Happy testing!